So now let's talk about the power rule. So this is when you want to take a power of another power, okay? So here, if we have a to the b raised to the c, so we take a, we raise it to the b, and then we raise that whole thing to the c power. This is the same thing as a to the b times c, okay? So let's just do an easy one here. Let's say we have x squared, and then let's just square that again, okay? So this is the same thing as x times x, and we're going to square that. So if we do, that means we're going to multiply x times x by itself twice. So this is x to the x times x to the x, which is just x to the fourth, or x to the 2 times 2. Okay? So you're just going to multiply the exponents together if you have a power raised to another power. And then very similarly, let me move these down a little bit. It works very similarly here for if we have 1 over a to the b raised to the c. This is going to be the same thing as 1 to the c over over a to the b times c. Okay, so remember, you have to distribute this c to both the numerator and to the denominator, but the exponent rule is going to apply, the power rule is going to apply in the denominator exactly like it would in the numerator. Okay, you're just going to multiply the exponents by itself. Okay, and the process would look very similar for this here, but let's go ahead and do one anyways. So let's say we have 1 over x squared, okay, and we're going to raise this to the second power. This is the same thing as 1 squared over x squared squared. But we already showed what x squared squared was. It's x to the fourth. And 1 squared is just 1. So we're going to end up with 1 over x to the fourth. Okay? So that's the basic rule for powers of powers. So let's look here at y to the third over y squared raised to the second power. Or we're squaring that, okay? So one thing that you can always do is you want to simplify everything just to make it easy on yourself. You want to simplify everything inside the parentheses before you raise it to any other exponents. Remember our PEMDAS rule: parentheses then exponents, right? So we're going to simplify everything inside the parentheses first. So let's go ahead and simplify y to the third y squared. So remember our exponent rule of a ratio. This is going to give us this is going to become y to the 3 minus 2. And we've got to keep this raised to the second power. Okay. But y to the 3 minus 2, this is just y to the 1. We're going to raise that to the second power. So this is y to the 1 times 2, which is just y to the 2, or y squared. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. Here we have m to the sixth times n to the fourth over n squared times n to the sixth. I think that was supposed to be probably m squared here. I'm going to go m squared. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what we can find here. So remember, first we have to simplify everything inside. So if we have m to the sixth over m squared, this is the same thing as m to the 6 minus 2. And we're going to multiply this by n to the 4 minus 6th. And we have to keep this exponent to the fourth out here. Okay? So m to the 6 minus 2, that's the same thing as m to the fourth, n to the 4 minus 6. This is n to the negative 2, right? All raised to the fourth. Okay? But remember, if we have anything to the negative power, that's the same thing as 1 over that same power, but positive. Okay, so this is going to become m to the fourth over n squared. We're raising that to the fourth. So now we can go ahead and distribute this 4 here. Okay, so if we distribute this 4, we're going to get m to the 4 times 4 over n to the 2 times 4. And that's going to be the same thing as m to the 16 over n to the 8. And that's going to be our final answer here. Okay. All right. Let's look at this one. Here we have 2x to the 4th, and we have over 3x to the 7th y squared. Okay, so the same principle works here for distributing this exponent. This goes to the constant values 2 and 3 as well. Okay, but first, let's go ahead and see if we can simplify any of this. If we have x to the 4th and x to the 7th, this is the same thing as 2x to the 4 minus 7 over 3y squared. And remember, we're squaring this whole thing still, so let's keep that around. And then if we have 2 to the x, 2 times x to the 4 minus 7, this is 2x to the negative 3 over 3 times y squared. But if you remember, okay, we're squaring it still. If you remember, we can just go ahead and bring that x to the negative 3, but we can send x to the third to the denominator and make the exponent positive. So this is going to be 2 over 3x to the third y squared. And we're squaring all of this. So if we square all of this, this is going to give us 2 squared over 3 squared times x to the 3 times 2 times y to the 2 times 2. And that's going to be the same thing as 4 over 3 squared, which is 9. X to the 3 minus 2, that's just x to the 1. Okay? Oh, that's not minus. I can't read my own handwriting here. We have 3 to the x to the 3 times 2. That's going to give us x to the 6th. Sorry about that. And then we have y to the 2 times 2, which is y to the 4th. So our final answer is going to be 4 over 9 times x to the 6th times y to the 4th. Okay, let's do one more. Here we have 3n to the 3rd over 2m squared times n to the 5th. We're going to raise all of that to the 4th power. Okay, so let's simplify inside first. So we have 3. If we have n to the 3rd over n to the 5th, this is n to the 3rd, or n to the 3 minus 5. And this is going to be over 2m squared. And we're raising all of this to the 4th power. So this is going to become 3n to the negative 2 over 2m squared. Or we can just go ahead and send that n to the negative 2 to the denominator. So we have 3 over 2m squared n squared. And we're raising that to the 4th power. Okay, so now we can distribute the exponent. So this will become 3 to the 4th over 2 to the 4th times m to the 2 times 4 times n to the 2 times 4. Now, 3 to the 4th, this is 81. So it's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So we'll get 81. Okay, if it'll break that down in your head, 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 again is 27, times 3 again is 81. And then 2 to the 4th is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which is 16. And I think that's as simple as you're going to make that. I don't think we're going to find anything that we're going to cancel here. So we're going to have with 81 over 16. And then we have m to the 2 times 4, that's m to the 8th. And then similar with n, we have n to the 8th. So this would be your final answer